Hey everyone, I want to talk to you about X-Men The Last Stand and why I think it's important we break it down and understand the core message of what's really being said. So, most people misunderstood X-Men The Last Stand. It's not really a story about mutants versus humans or even good guys versus bad guys. At its core, it's a story about conformity, about what happens when the world only allows you to exist if you're willing to change who you are. The movie disguises this conflict as a debate over a cure, but beneath the surface, it's exposing a deeper spiritual tension that people still live with today. On the surface, the story seems simple. There's a cure for mutation. Some mutants want it, believing it will give them peace or acceptance. Others see it as oppression. Charles Xavier represents peace and coexistence. Magneto represents resistance and rebellion. The audience is told this is a moral divide, compassion versus extremism, but that reading misses what the story is actually revealing. The real enemy in The Last Stand isn't Magneto, and it isn't even humanity. The real enemy is a system that says, you can exist, but only if you stop being what you are. That isn't freedom, that is forced conformity. The cure is framed as a choice, but it's backed by fear, pressure, and power. It's not an invitation, it's a threat disguised as compassion. This is where Christian symbolism becomes clear. Charles Xavier is written as a Christ-like figure. He believes in love of the enemy and sacrifice and coexistence rather than domination. He doesn't try to force mutants to change. He never demands that we deny what we are in order to belong. Instead, he believes transformation must come from within, freely chosen, not imposed from above. Xavier's posture mirrors Jesus Christ's approach to humanity. Jesus did not arrive with coercion or compliance or force. He didn't come to pressure people into outward compliance. He invited people into truth, even when that truth was costly. His power was not rooted in control, but in love. Magneto, on the other hand, is not simply a villain. He is right about one thing. Being different is not a disease. He sees through the lie of the cure and refuses to accept shame for what he is. In that sense, Magneto represents truth, a truth impulse, a refusal to submit to a system that erases identity. Where Magneto goes wrong is not in rejecting conformity, but in how he responds to it. He answers coercion or compliance with domination. He chooses power over love. He becomes willing to force the world to bend rather than to risk being crushed by it. And in doing so, he begins to recreate the same oppression he claims to oppose. This tension is why the story still resonates. Most people know what it feels like to be pressured into shrinking themselves. Not to cure a mutation, but to cure difference, to tone themselves down, to fit the mold, to become acceptable enough to survive. And the world often calls this tolerance. Today, conformity rarely comes with chains. It comes with politeness, policies, and quiet consequences. You're told you're free as long as you don't step outside the approved narrative. And when you do, the question isn't whether you're right or wrong, it's why you just can't be normal. This is exactly what Jesus confronted in his time. The Pharisees were not villains in their own minds. They believed they were protecting righteousness, order, and God's law, but they turned the law, something meant to reveal God, into a measuring stick that crushed people. They demanded external obedience while ignoring the condition of the heart. Jesus did not come to make people act righteous. He came to make people whole. He didn't enforce the law to shame humanity into submission. He fulfilled the law to rescue humanity from condemnation. He healed on the Sabbath. He touched the unclean. He ate with the sinners, not because the law was evil, but because love is greater than control. This is why the contrast between Xavier and Magneto matters so deeply. Both see the lie, both reject the cure, both refuse to deny what they are, but their responses are radically different. Charles Xavier says, "I would rather lay down my life than force you to change." Magneto says, "I would rather force the world to change than ever be vulnerable again." Both reject conformity, only one chooses love. And Scripture warns us about this exact tension. When truth is separated from love, it doesn't become neutral, it becomes destructive. Truth without love turns into domination. Power replaces compassion, and the cycle of oppression continues, just wearing a different face or mask. The question The Last Stand ultimately leaves us with isn't which side are you fighting on? It's deeper than that. It's asking how we respond when the world pressures us to become something else or someone else. Jesus shows us another way. He didn't come to force righteousness. He didn't come to make people perform the law. He came to transform hearts through love. He invited people into freedom, not by erasing who they were, but by redeeming them. The world offers two options: conform or dominate. Jesus Christ offers a third: be transformed. And that difference is the line between power and life. And maybe the question isn't whether the world is trying to change you, but whether you're willing to trade who you are for the comfort of belonging. Because conformity always asks for your identity, and Christ asks for your heart. Every system promises peace if you comply. Every age has its cure. The question is whether you're becoming whole or just becoming acceptable. When the pressure comes to fit the mold, you'll have a choice, not between good and evil, but between becoming what you're told to be or becoming who you were created to be. If you stayed on to the end, thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and I love each and every one of you guys. I'm having fun with the video effects. This is my first movie breakdown. If you enjoyed it, let me know. I would like some feedback. Feel free to add anything that I might have missed. Comments are open to my subscribers. I love each and every one of you guys. I stand beside you. God bless you all.